role of faith in spiritual life.
The role of faith in our spiritual life. One of the very helpful topics, okay, which can bring so much benefits, and conviction in our spiritual life, especially in the process of our spiritual cultivations. So, in the very beginning, I would like to mention that it is simply needless to mention further that a holy faith, the greatly respectful faith in God and all the godly affairs, all the godly activities, higher spiritual or divine activities have been so much glorified throughout the holy texts, holy scriptures, in many ways, variegated ways. In other words, the truth, the reality of firm faith, the truth and the necessity of having the firm faith in the Supreme Lord, who is self-effulgent, self-evident, self-effulgent truth, and in the guidance or instructions or directions given by the Supreme Lord, is so beneficial, is a must, very essential. So, it has been such firm faith, the necessity of having such firm faith, a beautiful, respectful faith, has been so much elated, upheld throughout all the holy scriptures, words of Supreme Lord and His pure devotees. In other words, it has been so much promoted by the realized devotees, who are very wise, realized, very dependable persons. From their own realizations, many pure devotees, exalted, wise personalities, devotees, have told us that faith has got great value. A pure, firm, very sincere, respectful faith, devoted faith is a great capital, great promoter of higher spiritual life divine. I repeat, they have actually glorified, upheld, promoted a faith, that kind of faith which has great quality, which contains great qualities, great respect, great pledge of dedication, devotion, commitment, loving commitment, loving devotional commitment in relation to the Supreme Lord and his devotees. Devoted, loving devotional commitment to remain engaged in loving devotional services. Cultivation of devotional love relationship with the Supreme Lord. So, we should understand, therefore we should understand through simple common sense, those great realized devotees, realized personalities, very intelligent, wise personalities, could not speak, could not have spoken of anything which is something like that of imaginary belief, that of some baseless, false type of beliefs without any guarantee, imaginary type, speculative type of belief system. In other words, faith. Okay, without guarantee, without its fruitful, valid nature. They cannot. Because while we look into the lives, while we look into the lifestyle and the characteristics, principles of the lives of the great persons, okay, great lives, great devotees, then we understand they are truthful. Basically, they are follower of the truth. Okay, so they are not the persons to run after some sort of false, imaginary belief system, false type of blind faith, baseless faith, because they have sacrificed their whole life. They have sacrificed, they have devoted with all sincerity, truthfulness, honesty, to follow the truth, to be worshipping the truth. That's what they have devoted their life to. So they are not the persons to talk about something, to advise us something which is like baseless or imaginary, okay, no confirmation, no assurance, just like chance coincidence type, follow some path that of chance coincidence. It may be true, may not be true. No, they cannot do that because they follow the principles which is opposite to cheating. Their character, all their character and characteristics are that which is opposite nature to cheating or following something untruth, something false, untruth. So back to the point, those great lives, great devotees have always been the worshipper, great worshipper, follower of the Supreme Absolute Truth. So, being situated in that higher consciousness of the Supreme Absolute Good, Supreme Absolute Truth, who is called by one of the most endeared names, beloved names, who is called as Krishna. So they advised us, so being situated and established on that level of divine consciousness, Krishna consciousness, from their own experience and realization, they advised us, they guided us, be faithful. Should be very respectfully faithful in the supreme absolute truth. Since he or she is supreme absolute truth, his or her character also qualified with that supreme absolute truthfulness, and you're putting faith in that truth. You're putting firm faith in the supreme absolute truth will also be qualified with truth. Just understood hypothetically, logically, hypothetically, systematically, disciplined manner. While we are having full faith, while we are putting faith in the supreme truth, our faith, the faith we are putting, we are offering, cannot but be truth, cannot but be blessed with truth, cannot but be receiving the truth from the supreme truth in which I am putting all my faith. Because supreme reality means supreme reality, without a doubt. When we talk about the all-pervading universal superpower, by which by the power, by the potency of which all creation, maintenance, destructions, I repeat, all creations, functions of maintenance, sustenance, and annihilation, all being validated, by whose power, whole creation is going on in a systematic way, very systematic, disciplined way, so nice way, by whose potency our life is going on. Our everyday life is going on. We are not the creator of our own lives. We are being created by this superpower. Yes. We human beings are not the creator of ourselves, but we are being created in the natural, following the natural process of creation, which is justified, validated by the superpower, none other than Supreme God, Supreme Lord. Every day, every moment, every seconds, every moment's activities all over the universe are going on, validated by the energy of the all-pervading superpower, omniscient, omnipresent superpower. We understand that. All the big, even atheist scientists cannot but accept that. Without accepting the existence, entity, activities of the great, infinite superpower, no scientific invention can be possible. No scientific truth can be discovered. No invention is possible. Nothing is possible. Our life will be false then. Our life, our existence, everything we're doing, all our activities, our feeling, thinking, willing, realization, all will be false if there is no backing, there is no support of that superpower behind. So, it is self-evidently understood, self-evident way, that is, with all-pervading, omniscient, omnipresent, superpower, in other words, God, Supreme Lord. Self-evident truth, is such perfect truth which is self-evident, self-effulgent. No other thing is needed to prove it. Something, the supreme reality which is self-evident, self-effulgent, self-proven, doesn't need to be proven by any other secondary thing. Okay? Is understood. We don't need any other thing. We don't need the help of another thing to see light. You can just see light. Similarly, we don't need the help of another thing, to see our consciousness, to feel into our life and consciousness. We can just do it by our own consciousness, by our own life consciousness. Okay? We can just know about ourselves. Okay, so some other person or some other thing doesn't need to prove to us that we are alive. We are alive. Okay, I am myself. It is self-evidently proven. It is realized by my own self. Similarly, there are such faiths called a self-evident faith. So, self-realized faith, self-validated faith. So, the necessity of which, the great necessity of having that doesn't need to be proven, justified by another reason. By another reason. Because it is reasoned, self-dependent, totally self-dependent way. Okay. Now back to the point. So in this way, firm faith is very much admired, has been very much appreciated. I repeat, having firm, respectful faith in Supreme Lord, in His Word, in His guidance, directions, in His service, devotional service, that by having firm faith in these, I'll receive great benefits in life, no doubt about it. Such truth has been promoted, glorified, established by the great devotees, realized souls, and by Supreme Lord Himself. So now the question is that all types of faith is valuable, is proper? Our precise answer is no. There are two kinds of faith, or three types of faith, I can say. There are three kinds of faith. One is just false, irreasonable, imaginary, speculative, blind faith. Another is like not firm faith, kind of bad faith. Faith, but it's not so firm. And the other one, the final real one, is firm, confirmed faith. Okay, it is with deep, profound, affirmed. Affirmed faith, confirmed faith. In the spiritual world, the third one, the final one, has been glorified a lot. Whereas we're also required as, okay, now let me clarify about this fact. Okay, as it is required, as it is a necessity to accept the firm and respectful faith in God. Similarly, it is also required to reject all types of speculative, falsely, decorated, blind faith. So, I repeat, rejecting, eliminating all types of baseless, false, blind faith. Also required. Yes. Devotees must understand. Devotees need to understand we are the follower of enlightened faith, path of illuminated faith, and not a baseless, false, blind faith. Now, there is some faith in our life based on our intuition. There is also faith in life based on our experience, at least some sort of experience. Okay. Both are very beneficial to have in life. So, what we notice from the beginning, see, the function, the role of faith and faithfulness actually begins after our birth. After the birth of a baby, see, the kind of relationship a baby has with the mother is not based on great knowledge and experience, and justifications, intellectually qualified justification. No, nothing. The baby is a baby. But for great reason, for somehow or other, for some real reason, we find a baby has got a lot of a faith in mother. From the very beginning after birth, a baby has got a natural, biological and faithful relation with mother. It can sense, intuitively it can feel. Crying, as soon as you put in mother's lap, it gets soothed. Unless something goes very wrong with the health, unless it's something is feeling some pain or some trouble in the body. But in general, when a crying baby is put into its mother's lap, it just feels happy. So crying becomes less and less a normal way. Because it feels soothed, satisfied in mother's lap. Why it happens like that? A baby can intuitively feel some relationship, especially with mother, not so much with dad in the beginning, father, but with the mother. See? So it's a relation, basically, it's a very good example, one of the very good examples of relation of faith with mother. A baby's role and baby's feeling, baby's natural intuitive faith in connection, in relation with his mother. So, many things understood in the childhood level, many things are understood intuitively. After babyhood passes, when a child is growing up, okay, it is learning. It is looking around many things and learning. How that learning process goes further, continues. Through faith, through a very good intuitive faith. Because one cannot learn anything before learning. Can a person? Can someone learn anything before learning? Can one be qualified to reason about something? Or why should it happen? Why should not happen? Hypothetical reason before any type of experience? No. Because all our logical sense, all our intellectual ways, all our intellectual ways of analysis, all our intellectual analysis, all our logical analysis, reasoning ability, all our ways of justifications, actually based on certain experience and knowledge. But in childhood, the baby don't have. A baby, small child, doesn't have all this. Then from which base, from which real base of consciousness it starts learning? It starts learning, educating himself or herself. Makes mistake. Learning through rectifications, that happens. Directly learning through right ways, also learning through wrong ways, making mistakes and then making corrections. Making corrections, and through corrections, making the wrong as right. Through correcting the wrong aspects, wrong ways, and then understanding which is wrong, which is right. So, how is being possible? That is being possible, validated by the role of faith. What's happening? Okay. So, it is being possible only validated by, qualified by in a child. When he or she has not yet had any knowledge, I repeat, when he or she, the small child, yet has not received any knowledge, any experience so much. It is having experience, started having intuitive experience, but not yet any ability to reason, to reasonably understand, hypothetically, logically, analytically understand anything. But just going by faith and learning so much by faith only, by intuitive, basic intuitive faith, fundamental faith of its own consciousness, childlike consciousness. And through that very basic, fundamental faithful consciousness, it is learning, and that learning getting ingrained, established in the child, and it is growing, then knowledge, then only the function of knowledge, more and more knowledge and some type of reasoning ability beginning in a child, slow but steady way, little by little. But the very beginning of knowledge, understanding, logical understanding, all are starting from faith without the acquired knowledge, without the pre-acquired knowledge, pre-acquired reasoning ability, logical analysis, ability of logical analysis, what we get when we grow up. How it is possible. That means faith has got reality. The faith in our life has got reality in itself. It has got its own experience, which is validated by its own energy, without depending on further analysis by knowledge, by intellectual calculation, logical calculations. It is a base, firm base, a firm, truthful base of our consciousness. So what I'm explaining is very important to understand, because many people have got so much doubt, not little doubt, so much doubt about what is this faith, or just faith, or just belief system. I want to understand. First I want to understand through knowledge, then I will accept. Then only I can accept. I cannot follow this blind belief system. We also tell them, we also don't follow. We also never follow a blind belief system, but a truthful system, enlightened system. But the conception of that enlightenment and illumination comes fundamentally from faith also. Not only through knowledge, calculative knowledge, not only that enlightenment comes through some calculative, hypothetical, logical knowledge, analysis, calculative analysis, but also it comes, some intuitive knowledge also comes through some experience, which experience is based on faith. Because at that level, there is no knowledge, no function of knowledge started yet, but just some feelings, just some intuitive feelings, and understanding is there only. Knowledge comes, knowledge is built based on that fundamental understanding of consciousness, which is validated by consciousness. And that consciousness has got faith in it. It's innate. How do you call it in English? It's innate there, inborn. So faith, real faith is inborn in our self-evident consciousness, intuitive way. So, it's a great reality. Therefore, faith has been so much, true faith, a proper, appropriate faith, a devoted faith has been so much glorified by the wise persons. So now, back to the point. There are two types of faith. One is that of useless, baseless, false, absurd type, based on some irreasonable, absurd, speculative imaginations. We are supposed to eliminate it all. Devotees, the truth-seeking, the truth seekers, the truth worshipper devotees are required to reject, eliminate that kind of faith. On the other hand, there is faith just that of opposite character. That of character opposite to that blind, false, absurd type of faith, which is based on truth, enlightenment, based on reality. Self-effulgent consciousness, feelings. That is a great wealth, great capital, great treasure in our life. Let's take some examples, some practical examples. See, while we are watching Olympic Games, I repeat, suppose while you are watching Olympic Games, once I saw, I appreciated that. On the phase of floor, the division of floor exercise, I found one Chinese guy. While others were warming up before getting into competition, they just started warming up, doing different calisthenic exercises and different types of exercises to warm up, to get prepared for that floor exercise, okay, to get into competition. I found another Chinese person. He's simply laying down, laid down for a while. It's a part of his warming up. Laid down, and then got up, sat peacefully, and started meditating like a yogi. While others were busy in warming up, jumping up and down, jogging and stretching, very active. He was just sitting, calm, meditating, concentrating, focusing. And later on, he was the one found to be winning the gold medal. He was doing something very right, having some special concentration through meditation, preparing himself from inside, mentally. Physically, he already went through a lot of training, so nothing new. But at the last moment, final moment, he was concentrating, trying to fully concentrate, focus mentally, knowing that winning ability will not only come from the physical level, but also from mental level, okay, from the strong focus, stubborn, intense focus. That's what he was taking preparation. And it got the result. Others are looking at what he's doing. But when he won the medal, gold medal, then everybody understood. In Chinese culture, in Buddhist, because Chinese civilization is very much influenced by the Buddhist culture. Buddhist civilization, which came from India, Eastern religion, based on certain realizations. They have great respects for Shaolin monks, very practical. They cultivate their spiritual life with some practical cultivations also, with self-defense to increase the self, to increase or develop the self-power, self-potency through meditation and practices, other practices. They're very practical persons. So, they inherited. Many Chinese people inherited that spiritual, high-class spiritual culture too. To receive some higher strength, cultivate higher strength. I'll give you other examples. There in Olympic, we often see those participants cannot be successful in one time or two times. They are given chances. One time, they cannot break record. They cannot achieve the quality success they target. They cannot achieve that success they are actually targeting. One time, they could not do, not satisfied. They're giving chances. Second time, not so successful. Third time, yes, got successful, became. I have looked into the ways of the heavyweight lifter. One time could not do so much. Second time, it's a bit shaky type. Okay. But then, focused, from inside, focused, with full self-determination, I can do it, I must do it, I can do it. Third time, he did it, broke his own record. What makes the difference? Tell me. Scientifically, what is that reality making such difference? Same person, with same body, same strength. First time he could not do it. Second time he could not do it. Third time he is doing it. Breaking the record. What is making the difference? Faith, power of faith. Because he had that faith, he had that firm faith, I must do it, I can do it. Why I cannot do it? I can do it. I am able to do it. And from that faith, from the level of mind, from the depth of mind, from the level of soul, from the level of great faith, he derived that power, potency, extra potency, which caused him to win success, breaking the record. So, what makes difference over there is a faith, strong faith, what he was not having before. The kind of quality of firm faith with total focus, total self-conviction, self-confidence, in other words, firm faith, he was not having before. But as soon as he had that, he received some extra power. From that, self-faith, self-confidence, and that made the difference. Although that has got limit, because the example I am giving is limited. Limited, but we understand what it is. We often, in our society, people just know, and they believe in healing through faith. Yes, is popular in the field of treatment. Certain types of healings through faith. How it works? It works in that way, healing through faith.
Like placebo?
Like placebo, not only like placebo, it is true, is one of the examples. Also, by cultivating a very faithful, positive thought process, positive temperament, I repeat, by cultivating a positive psyche, positive mindset, temperament, with deep faith, something happens beneficial in our body and mental level. certain types of hormones start secreting, having the secretion. I feel good. They start feeling better. Okay, healthier. More with little peace and satisfaction. Just by changing the mind setup, cultivating the mind setup with the help of deep faith that I can do it. I have the better good ability. Supreme Lord has blessed me with some superior ability within me. I need to discover and take the help of that. It will be greatly beneficial for me. And as they keep on cultivating that mind setup, positive mind setup, with positive thoughts, okay, mood, result comes. They start seeing some benefit, they start experiencing benefit from that. What I'm talking about is self-evident in many. Okay, it happens. So how it happens? Based on what it happens? Faith, good faith. A very good, firm, positive faith in yourself, in what you think it is very healthy faith, and through that faith you derive some extra subtle power, which becomes very useful, very helpful, okay, to promote ourselves, to uphold, to uplift ourselves, uplift our energy level, our consciousness. And the opposite also same. If you feel in your mind and heart with all garbage stuffs, negative stuffs, bad stuff, you'll be depressed. Immediately you'll be influenced, feel depressed, weak, very bad, dissatisfied with your own self. Feel so bad. Okay. So if anyone has, when someone has a negative type of faith, negative result will come. When someone has positive type of faith, positive quality of faith, positive energy, positive result coming. It's just self-evident realities. What makes the difference between success and failure? Many other things, many other elements, many other issues and environmental, many other issues involving with the time, place, situation, environmental. No doubt, they also play a role which will, to affect failure or success. But one of the big things which also makes difference, that is one's own deep self-confidence and no confidence. I repeat, having full confidence, full faith in one's own self and having no faith. That also makes a difference. Sometimes it makes a lot of difference. So when the persons going forward in life with good confidence, good self-confidence, good faith in himself or herself, with the prayer, the higher faith in Lord, that I must receive some blessings from the merciful, from the kind, merciful Lord, and goes forward in life, despite some experience of temporary failures ultimately become successful. There are many such examples. Become successful. Sometimes experience of failure also become a learning point, learning part of receiving the ultimate success. Our Guruji used to explain, how the great lives consider. Okay. They look at the failures. They look at the failures as some type of learning through which they are getting more enriched, through which learning they are being more enriched and having more knowledge about what to avoid in order to get success. What doesn't properly work out on the way of success. So they won't do that. They won't make that mistake again. They become now more mature and experienced and just going for the success. Often our Guru Maharaj explained, giving some concrete example, like in the process of climbing up the mountain, I repeat, in the process of climbing up on the top of mountain, like summit, sometimes going down to the valley of mountain also included. So sometimes, because there are always not the straight and smooth ways to climb up the mountain. So sometimes in the process of climbing up the mountain, one has to